Hello, Satanico here once again for Godlovescomics, and here we have the final installment of Alan Moore and David Lloyd's V for Vendetta, and this is Chapter 3, Various Valentines, which is the page that we left off of in the last installment. And as we pick up the story, V has sort of cruelly transformed Evie into an anarchist in the sense that she no longer cares about the traditional things that were sort of brainwashed into her by the system, which is pretty much the state of everyone in this dystopian future England, where everyone has been brainwashed to the extent, with the exception of the people that are actually in the fascist government, at the very top of the fascist government. Those people, for the most part, understand the machinations of the government, understand that they have this elaborate ruse, this elaborate play that they play out on the rest of the population to maintain order. But even then, the leader, the fascist leader, is a very delusional person who believes that he's doing what's right for society, and that society needs this sort of strong hand and this, this sort of fascist leadership to maintain order. But as we see, V is slowly tearing down the fascist government. Members are dying, members are falling. The government is slowly falling into disrepair, and the leader himself is going a bit mad with the various little kinks in the armor and the erosion of the government as we see it. So here is Chapter 3, Various Valentines, and this is V for Vendetta. Organizing a protest against the shootings, eh? I will slang the little gobshite and the wagon with the rest. Can you not see him on my lunch break? Morning, Ali. Keeping busy? It's a doodle. All I does this money for damaging some pure bastard and touching up their missus, and strap search. Yous coppers, clever bastards, keeping this number to yourselves. Ha ha ha. Well, play your cards right, you lads. Could have regular work here. I like your style, and with things how they are, a little auxiliary force could come in very handy. Say, for example, I offered $400 a week. I mean, for that I want your guaranteed loyalty. If push come to shove, understand what I'm saying? I think I might have an inkling. Well, think on it. I could promise good prospects in any system that might develop, if push come to shove. See, things are precarious. Apparently they've had power failures in Liverpool. If that happened here, nay, brother. For 400 quid, you have my full support. Now, if you'll excuse me. Off already? Not pursuing other business interests, I hope? Nah, it's just this bird. Listen, I found some mere letters. You better have a look at it. See us later, alright? And there are the letters, and there, as you can see, the dominoes continue to be lined up, all part of V's very well planned out game. Hello, Mrs. I got your message. Sorry I'm late and all that. In the future, you'll be punctual. I don't like waiting. Do you know who I am? Aye, you're the missus that broke ruining the eye. And you're running Creedy's civilian auxiliary force. You know he's planning a coup. He wants to be a leader. Ah, well, I know nothing about that. Don't play dumb. This is a straightforward business decision. Creedy wants to be the leader. I want Conrad to be leader. How much is he paying you? Well, getting 500 at present. Obviously he lied. He said 400, but might as well up the price a little bit. Really, I'd have thought 400 maximum. I'm prepared to offer 6, plus an increase upon your thug's current wages. You don't piss about, do you? What's my job? You carry on working for Creedy, drawing his wages, but reporting to me. And then when the time comes, you remember who you're really working for. Look, I'm no aggravating the police. Creedy's running the finger. Harper, do as I say and you'll be running the finger. Don't worry about Creedy. He's in a hazardous occupation. Look what happened to his predecessor. And as you can see, there's a sort of a dead raven. That's sort of symbolic of what happened to his predecessor. I mean, the raven and throughout literature is always representative of death. And of course, Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven is the perfect example of that. Derek, you were useless. Then you died. That's all. You died, and I can't sleep at nights. You died and left me bare in front of strangers. Derek, when we were married, you remember I was working at the bank. You were in insurance. You were going to buy a house in Surrey. Perhaps have children. That was in '87, just before the war. Then in '92, you joined the party. Miss Rana next door loaned us food all throughout the war years. When they dragged her and her children off in separate vans, we didn't intervene. Now you're dead, and I walk home alone each night through riot zones, past lootings, shootings, burning buildings. Now you're dead, and I crouch like an animal and offer my hindquarters in submission to the world. Now you're dead, and I can't sleep for being scared, for crying, hating, thinking, who has done this to me? I can't sleep for wanting justice, wanting all of the world to know of its unfairness. I can't sleep for the gun beneath my pillow. Very much. You know, you won't find anywhere to sleep out here. There's no bed and breakfast anymore. Were you thinking of camping or something like that? Yes, something like that. Well, it looks like he took the cab driver's car. Or no. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's not right. This is for you, Delia. You more than anybody. I was happy with you. Yes, I was happy. With Cynthia and little Paul. That was 10 years ago. I've gotten over that. I'm doing this for you, Delia. For the country. Yes, that too. And for me. Of course for me. But you more than anybody. You're the reason I came here. This is where it started. This is where it ends. And that is the Lark Hill Resettlement Camp, and this is one of the members of the government who, of course, was in love with the female government member who formerly was the doctor at the Lark Hill Resettlement Camp, who, of course, V famously killed. I think it was in the prior segment in which he provided her with a rose, and she was ready to die. She expected that he would be coming for her, and she was relieved to be alleviated of her tremendous guilt for all the terrible experiments she committed on him and on many other innocent people. But essentially, she created him. She created the monster who would bring down the government. V, you're almost finished, aren't you? See for yourself. Almost finished with his dominoes. The pieces are set out before me, perfectly aligned, complete. One may at last grasp their design, their grand significance. But almost finished, yes. Yes, I suppose I am. Though recognition's been delayed by a circuitous construction, now the pattern long concealed emerges into view. Is it not fine? Is it not simple and elegant and severe? How strange, after the long exacting toil of preparation, that it takes only the slightest effort and less thought to start this brief elaborate amusement on its breathless hurtling race. The merest touch, no more. And everything falls into place. The pieces can perceive as we, the mischief their arrangement tempts, those stolid, law-abiding quos, so pregnant with catastrophe, insensible before the wave, so soon released by callous fate, affected most, they understand the least. And understanding, when it comes, invariably arrives too late. And you see the letter? You say you have a clockwork love who feeds and cares for you, but I've read all her diaries, and I know that she's untrue. Indeed, they'll not know anything's amiss until they're caught up in the terrible momentum, possibly mistaking it at first for bold decisive action, some last-minute rally to avert disaster, charging to the rescue. But they're not charging, they're falling. There, poor little things. You see them, standing with their numbers on their blank indifferent faces, Nuremberg in miniature, the ranks of painted wooden men. And, as you can see, it's unfolded. Fee has created a domino design of his, his emblem. And all the pieces are just about in place. All he has to do is tap one domino, and his plans fall into place. Poor dominoes, your pretty empire took so long to build. Now with a snap of history's fingers, down it goes. Sieg Heil, sort of a Nazi salute, obviously. That's not even subtle. Leader, I know. The terrorist, I know how he's doing it all. First, he knows everything about us and our system. Everything. Then this morning we find people with subversive poems they claim they'd received through the post. Leader, he's got us delivering his leaflets for him. How? How is he causing blackouts in Merseyside and food riots in Brum? I know it's unthinkable, leader, but there's only one answer. He's got access to fate. He had access to fate since the beginning. That's how he, leader? What's... I think the leader has already cracked up. If he's even still alive. Nah, he's still alive. And obviously, sort of symbolic, the domino begins. V symbol is on And the leader knows. The gig is up. It's all going to collapse now. V's perfect plan. November 7th, 1998. We're up against someone who isn't normal, people. Either physically or mentally. It's the mentally bit that bothers me. Because if I'm going to crack this case, and I am, I'm going to have to get right inside his head. To think the way he thinks. That scares me. I said that. I said that a year ago. Nothing's changed. It's still true. I'm still scared. I know so little about this stuff. Couldn't ask without arousing suspicion. Lysergic acid, diethylamide, standard dose is about 200 micrograms. How do I measure that? They say the tiniest amounts can alter everything. The faintest traces. Chapter 4, Vestiges. And sort of beautiful silhouettes by David Lloyd. These barren trees that suggest kind of a permanent winter time, and also that this whole sort of, despite the lush grass, this whole sort of landscape has been poisoned in a sense, by all of the horrible things that went on at Lark Hill, and also even the tendrils of the trees, the limbs almost looking like tendrils, are starting to close in. I've never seen the camps before, only photographs. So this is the toilet we flushed all those people down. 4 tablets. I wonder if that's enough. I wonder if that's too many. Oh well. Against my tongue, those little pieces of soap, my saliva tasting of tinfoil. A bubble of apprehension forming low in my stomach. I swallow, feeling as if I'm letting go of something. There. Now I'm strapped in, countdown ticking from bow to bloodstream to brain towards takeoff, but I've never flown before. What's supposed to happen? Nothing. Nothing yet. Better take a look around while it's still light. So he's taken the same pills that were forcibly given to V and to the other people. And with the suggestion that they drove V mad, but I think they were giving them to him every single day. So he did take sort of a mega dose with, I believe, taking 4, but we'll see what it does to him. And maybe what the imagery of the camp itself does to him. These must be the ovens. Ovens for people. People ovens. Let that sink in. No use. Still can't make it seem real. If I'd known this was happening, would I have still joined the party? Probably. No better alternatives. We couldn't let the chaos after the war continue. Any society's better than that. We needed order. Or at least I did. Losing Synth, losing little Paul, like that, everything was disintegrating, and I just wanted to, dismembered, beheaded bodies. It makes you wonder, though, this facility was there for quite a long time, and it doesn't seem like those bodies seem like they would be desiccated and decayed by this point, but not. Oops. It's a spoiler alert. Slipped up quite a bit. Okay, here we are. Shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have taken the LSD. Not here. Yeah. It's not a good place to become paranoid. But I wanted to know what it's like being him. It's this place. If I can just get outside its walls until I feel better. No problem. The main gate's back this way. Or not. He's already disoriented. And speaking of which, he's just saying if he can just get out of the walls, he'll feel better. So imagine the V was trapped inside the walls, sometimes trapped inside solitary confinement in a small cell. And there was no option of getting out, and he was still getting given those pills, which he just called LSD. And now he's flashing back. He's really seeing, he's kind of reliving what they went through. I can't walk that far. My legs feel like jelly and everything's thrumming. It's a drug. I just have to remember it's a drug doing this, but they say LSD only magnifies what's already there. Christ. Why did I take this now when I'm so confused anyway? I'm trapped in a job that disturbs me, but I can't tell anyone. I'm so alone. So alone. Oh, look. Look, they're all smiling. They're all happy. God, it's been so long. I'd forgotten how rich the color of your skin was. 1,000 special blends of coffee. The girls I saw hugging each other on the demonstrations. And the men so gentle, so softly spoken. Oh, Jesus, I've missed you. I've missed your voices and your walk, your food, your clothes, your dyed pink hair. My friends, they're at the carnival, the gay pride marches. Say, you saw beyond my uniform. Please say you knew I cared. Please. Wait, where are you going? Wait. Please, don't leave me. Sort of symbolic of, he was actually a more sort of liberal thinking person. He didn't have hatred towards black people, towards gay people, towards people of any other race. And, there was sort of a celebratory, happy mood. But you see these people are going away. And what's interesting here, by going away, of course, they were hauled away by the government. They were murdered by the government. They were systematically, ethnically cleansed by the fascist government, by the white fascist government. But what's really interesting in this panel, here, the people are still normal. Here, they become caricatures. Black caricature, Arab caricature. So, in a sense, as they were going away, they were also going away culturally and going away in what they really were as to how they were being depicted by the government. So that they were slowly, any sort of positive representation of these people or how they really were was being eroded steadily, progressively by the government, which, is a systemic racism, a systemic oppression, and eventually people can't see the reality and they end up only seeing the caricature. They only end up seeing the brainwashed element, and that's what's happening to him now. And of course, in his LSD trip, they just all walk into the wall and they disappear. We treated you so badly, all the hateful things we printed, did and said, but please, please don't despise us. We were stupid, we were kids, we didn't know. Come back. Please come back. I love you. There we go. I love you. And this may be sort of a spectral version of the doctor who he is in love with, who she'll see. Oh, Eric, look at you. Yes, that's her. In your pajamas. Go back to bed. I'm just making bacon and eggs to keep your strength up. Delia? Delia, I'm so mixed up. If I could just get things straight. What things? what I'm doing here, what's happening to me. I remember that I came here to find something very vital to various ventures. I was planning to take a drug. A drug? Well, that's what I'm here for. Please roll up your sleeve. As for your emotional problems, perhaps you should talk to Tony Lillyman. He's our padre. Lillyman? I thought he was a bishop. Lillyman, of course, is dead as well. He was killed quite a while back. No, merely a pawn. Now tell me, when did you stop believing in God? But I never said. Don't mollycoddle him. Blessed sky pilots. Nothing wrong with him. A shot of jungle juice won't cure, eh? Of course, that's the, I forget his name, but the man who was so obsessed with the dolls, who, of course, also ran the prison, or the asylum. You're probably right. In my experience, poison solves most of life's problems. He's finished here, Mr. Prothero, said Prothero. He's yours. What? Delia, they're taking me away. Don't let them. Come on, matey. Don't make me mad. Delia, what about the bacon and eggs? In nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. And Delia is kissing the hand of the bishop. Of course, all of these people are dead. All of this is an hallucination. All of them are dead except for him, of course. Delia, please, you weren't like them. I know you weren't. You had a heart, please. Don't let them do this. Delia, are you listening? Oh no. How did I get here to this stinking place? My job, my life, my conscience, my prison. The answer's there, written on the floor for me to read, but I don't understand it. Yes, it's just the drugs. But he was drugged too, locked away to die, and he reached some understanding. Why can't I look at this pattern, this mad pattern, but where are the answers? Who imprisoned me here? Who keeps me here? Who can I release me? Who's controlling and straining my life except me? And sort of comes to an epiphany, that it's sort of all the mental prison that he's created for himself. It's really created by the state, but the fact that people are willing to accept the lies and the propaganda because it facilitates what they need to survive, they're imprisoning themselves in a sense, which is what V was preaching to Evie, and then V sort of gave her a baptism by fire to sort of clear out all the brainwashing. I'm free. As he had this epiphany. But he also may be mad. Starts tearing off his clothing, even though that wasn't really the clothing that he had on in the first place. Vaulting, veering, vomiting up the values that victimize me, feeling vast, feeling virginal. Was this how he felt? This verve, this vitality, this vision? Notice the alliteration of so many words that start with V. La voix, la vérité, la vie, Stonehenge. She's not really at, but I would say that symbolizes sort of going back to your roots, back to the primitivity prior to all of this, that this culture really needs to start over. Stonehenge is essentially the origins of Great Britain, and the society has become so rotten, so corrupted at its core, that at this point it needs the same sort of metaphorical epiphany that he's had, and almost needs to be completely destroyed so it can start over again, because it's just rotten. It's just too corrupted. November 7th, 1998, the Shadow Gallery. Every time we say goodbye, you know, that jukebox, it's like waiting in a seaside cafe on a wet weekend. Are you going to do something or just sit out the chaos down here? Every time we say goodbye, I die a little. The chaos progresses splendidly without us, Eve. For my part, I rather think the time has come for putting certain things in order. Well, what does that mean? Are we going to do something or not? Every time we say goodbye. Do what you will, do, Eve. That shall be the whole of the law. Free to follow her own path. Quoting Aleister Crowley isn't good enough. It doesn't answer my question. I want to know what thou wilt be. I want to know what your will is. I wonder why a little. You want me to show you my will? Very well. Very well then. Do the gods above me, who must be in the know, think so little of me? This way, they'd allow you to go? Chapter 5, The Valediction. Why does everything need a big demonstration? I ask the simplest question. It's like Alice in Wonderland. I've been reading for months. I'm smarter now. Couldn't you try just explaining for me? You asked for knowledge, Eve. That is what I shall pass on to you. Knowledge, like air, is vital to life. Like air, no one shall be denied it. Oh, V, come on. You've always kept things mysterious. Yourself, this place, your plans. If knowledge is like air, you've been suffocating me. Not at all. I've been teaching you to breathe this way. Regard the air of knowledge, here condensed to liquid electricity. The facts of all society are centralized herein, a fact that's figured in society's undoing. For I have tapped their knowledge. Well, soon everyone shall drink. You know, I bet I could work this computer. It's really linked to fate. And fate is linked to everything in the bureaucracy. The file cards are reality. Punching new holes. Recreate the world. Recreate the world. This way. Oh, are these rooms connected? Everything is connected. You must understand that knowledge is not all your heritage. It includes also courage and belief, like hers, that we commemorate herein, and romance, always romance. Its insurrections, clamor, we may easily forget just what it is which we strive. Isn't it dancing? Scented shoulders, pupils widened by desire or wine. Anarchy must embrace the din of bombs and cannon fire. Yet always must it love sweet music more. But how strange, change from major to minor. No, I still can't get that last bit. Persevere, Eve. Understanding music, we may hear the music that there is in life, from its first insufficient trills unto its closing minor chords. So let me see. Oh, I get it. Those 3 rooms upstairs are joined with the piano room below. Indeed, imagine we're inside your mind, each area with its skills, functions, knowledge, pleasure, creativity. All that remains then is to make the proper neural connections. Up there, the higher attributes of reason, love, and culture are contained. Down here, the shadow gallery has eyes. Wait. Let me get my bearings. My room's off this level. Off the other staircase, somewhere over there. Is that right? Unerringly. But come, here's something that you've never seen. Indeed, few men have had their chance to study their own optic nerves. All these TVs, they're working? I thought you blacked out all the TVs. Oh, no. The monitor cameras are still functioning, but our adversary's broadcasting and receiving apparatus isn't. My apparatus, by contrast, works perfectly. So, he has sabotaged the fascist state's constant surveillance, their cameras on the streets, which are a reality in Britain now. They're a reality all over the world, primarily for terrorism, but and for just public order. But they were a reality in Britain even in the 80s, which is when this was written. But he's disabled much of their surveillance, and all the while, he set up his own surveillance. He's been surveilling them all along, which is how he knows all of their secrets, all of their weaknesses, all of their vulnerabilities. Of course, with all state broadcasting blanked out, the only things I seem to get are all these riot zone soap operas and bad disaster movies. Sometimes I miss Storm Saxon. The dialogue was better. But you can see all London from here, naturally. This room's the pinnacle of an inverted hill, which one descends to reach the peak, but once arrived can see for miles. Come. Too much television's bad, and you have homework still to do. In here, you'll find books and equipment that will tell you how to make explosives out of coffee, or make psychedelic drugs as cheap as water. Use them wisely, if at all. Unlike TV, we cannot have too much of science, despite its nuclear quirks. With science, ideas can germinate within a bed of theory, form and practice that assist their growth. But we as gardeners must beware. For some seeds are the seeds of ruin, and the most iridescent blooms are often the most dangerous. Yeah, like the mushroom cloud of the atomic bomb. Oh, the rose room. You know, this place makes me feel funny. It's like that Ray Bradbury story you read me, with the cornfield, and each ear of corn is somebody's life. Except you can't have a rose for everybody here, can you? Just special people. Is there a rose here for the leader? For Mr. Susan? Oh no, not here. For him I've cultivated a most special rose. Come, let us leave the scented bower. I trust you will take care of it. He's essentially leaving her the keys, so to speak, of his empire. He's showing her all of the secrets of the shadow gallery, and entrusting her to carry on his legacy, because he knows that he's on final suicide mission eventually. You're letting me look after the roses? That'll be nice. Back on the stairwell. Are we going farther down? Oh yes. You'll come to know this place in all its lengths and depths. What's on the next floor? Not so much a floor, but more a mezzanine. There are things stored here that we'll soon have need of farther down. There's but one floor to go. If you could carry one of these small parcels, I'd be grateful. But take care. Sure, what's in them? Gelignite. Gelignite, oh Jesus. V, I'm not helping you with any killing. What are you planning to do with it? Dispose of it. After all, as you point out, you won't be needing it. Doesn't expect her to carry any killing. And you can see he's got quite a barrage of backup mask, Guy Fawkes mask, and even the same hats. Anarchy wears two faces, both creator and destroyer. Thus destroyers topple empires, make a canvas of clean rubble, where creators can then build a better world. Which goes back to my Stonehenge analogy and to the Stonehenge image, which is essentially he's the destroyer. He's going to bring this world to its knees and destroy all of the corrupt fascist state, and then he's leaving it in her hands to rebuild it, with the freedom that she now understands. Rubble once achieved makes further ruins means irrelevant. Away with our explosives then. Away with our destroyers. They have no place within our better world. But let us raise a toast to all of our bombers, all of our bastards, most unlovely and most unforgivable. Let's drink to their health. Then meet with them no more. It's the train, which you may also remember from the movie. Oh, it's lovely. It's V. Where did you get it? Hush, please. Show some reverence. Come, let us be discreet. Place the gelignite beyond the lilies. Oh, V, these flowers, these rails, they aren't real gold, are they? I love the way it's painted. It's a beautiful old barge. What's it for, V? V, I said, what's it for? V? It's pretty much his coffin. V, please. You were talking about sharing knowledge, and now you walk off without answering me? You haven't given me any answers at all. I started out asking you what you were going to do. You asked me to reveal my will. I have done so. Huh? V, I'm tired of guessing games. I just wanted to know if you were planning to go out or not. No, I have to stay in. I'm waiting. Waiting for what? Not for what. For whom? Alright. For whom are you waiting? I'm waiting for the man. Waiting for the man is another way of saying waiting for. Essentially waiting for the police, the authorities, the jackbooted fascist thugs. And it's also a Lou Reed song, which had the same meaning. If that's another... It is, isn't it? It's another bloody quote. I've heard it on the jukebox. V, I hate this. All our conversations turn into crossword puzzles. I think Waiting for the Man was by Lou Reed, but it might be by Lou Reed with the Velvet Underground. So, FYI. I mean, if there's something you want to say, if there's something I should know, surely it's not so bad you can't give it to me straight. V, are you listening? Look, I'm serious. I give up on the puzzles. I just want to turn the page upside down and read the answers. Well, V, I'm waiting. Farewell, my lovely. What are you trying to tell me? November 9th, 1998. And these are some of the pieces of the puzzle. The leader kind of slumped over in his perpetual sort of egg chair, and the barren streets. The wife who, still hates her deceased husband, Derek. Now she's eyeing the gun as she comes home from stripping. It may be too much for her now. And that gun may no longer be for protection. It may be for escaping the world. And up the barren street. Beautiful set of panels. Up the barren street comes our LSD victim. And, of course, in the center, B's train. Chapter 6, Vectors. And we're up to page 225. Very, very interesting. 9/11/98. Obviously, 9/11 has a lot of resonance when you're talking about terrorism. But this was written, of course, well before 9/11/2001, so that makes it particularly ironic. 2:30 p.m. Scheduled public appearance by leader to restore public calm. They can't be serious about this, can they? From all reports, poor old Susan's absolutely barking. By barking, she means barking mad, of course. He's lost his mind. How will seeing that restore public calm? Only soft centers left. Shit. Soft center candies, which everybody hates, instead of the solid chocolates. And of course, the leader himself is rather soft-centered in the head at this moment. He's no longer really sane, if he ever was. Of course, everybody's seen it coming for years. All those things he said back when he was still chief constable. Perhaps strawberry. I bet this was Creedy's idea. Probably hoping for riots so he can demand Susan allow him more thugs for his private army. Sweaty little crook. Honestly, how would someone like Creedy hope to run a country? Reopen the football league, put tits on page 3 on the Party Chronicle? Obviously, No! She knocks him away. Not now, Conrad. For now, you can have a nice chocolate. Instead, open up. There. As for the rest of the box, perhaps when you're leader. Hello, Mr. Creedy. You're up in a boot early. Hello, Allie. By heck, the leader's picked a windy old day for his walkabout, eh? Aye, well, it's an old wind that blows na bested any quid, yea. Haha, you might be right, Allie, you might be right. I mean, take this parade. Once the punters see what's supposed to be leading them, I mean, who knows? Careful with the cattle barrier, Sonny. Sorry, sir. I reckon after today they'll be begging for the leader with guts. For a leader with guts. I tell you, running the fingers got possibilities. Don't know why nobody's realized it before. I hang about a minute, eh? Sure. I mean, why didn't my predecessor try something? Fox Bravo 2 Whitehall. Clear to Charing Cross. Confirm Richmond Terrace, clear, over. What was he like, old Almond? Bit of a police, bit of a ponce from all accounts? Well, he'd no consider using my lads for security. That's certain. They stuck up. Very superior man, Mr. Oman. That's what I like about you. I mean, you're no superior at all. Quite the reverse, in fact. Listen, I've got to piss off. See you later, alright? See you later. Hey, see you later. Pretty much insulted him to his face. And he's contemplating perhaps that was an insult. And this is Almond's wife. There is probably a reason that gun is so present in the forefront of the frame. But she's getting dressed. And she is taking the gun with her. And the do not disturb sign on the door. Look here, it's supposed to be hidden, but you can see the lens. Every party member's bedroom has one, even his own. And he wonders why I won't let him touch me. Of course, none of his spy cameras are working now. There he sits at work amidst all the fuss of his parade. All his little screens are dead. A blind voyeur. Ha! Here they are, Conrad. Here's what you're missing. Too bad you can't see them. No idea how hard it's been maneuvering him into a position where he can take charge. Of course, I'll be making all the real decisions backed up by your muscle, obviously. Gonna be like Eva Perón, you know? Did you ever see Evita? Don't Cry for Me, Argentina? The truth is, come on, Gessa, drag. Don't grab the grass, costs good money. If you want some, you'll have to earn some. Oh, I'll earn it, alright. I'm very reliable in the job, so they say. Okay, and let's probably be his glove, yes, and he is carefully monitoring this latest bit, perhaps figuring out that there is a coup attempt in the works. And the leader is despondent. He's basically just a husk. I don't even know if there's anyone left inside of him. Leader, the motorcade is all assembled. We're ready to depart whenever you are, sir. Well, he can speak. Thank you. I shall come to meet my people in a few moments. There's no need to wait for me. England prevails. We'll see if the leader even makes it to his own party. I forgive you. Which... is he kissing the monitor? Is he forgiving V? Is he forgiving the monitors and the system for finally betraying him? Wind spins, weather rains, walking, walking, the happy wanderer, Faldera. It all fits. Thinks like he thinks he walked his road before me, and did those feet in ancient times, but where did he go? Like a vixen to its lair, like a vole to its hole, a veritable vanishing act, but where? Think like him, full of voodoo, full of vision. What would he do? Where would he, of course. Of course. This is casting the shadow of V's emblem. Victory. V for victory. The station is closed and has been for who knows how long, and it's under the subway, under the tube as they call it in Great Britain. The Victory Station, in which V has created his whole shadow gallery and his whole lair, his labyrinth. And he walks down here and sees, of course, the subway in incredible disrepair. Everything's eroded, collapsing. Really nice sort of ominous panels by David Lloyd, with only this one light source, this bulb. Chapter 7, Vindication. V, vindication for the man we just saw, vindication for V. And of course, all of these chapters are starting with a V. Laughing, cheering, waving, they at least have not forsaken me. But why can't I feel anything for them? There's only me here, isn't there? I've known since childhood. No one else is real. Just me and God. No boil upon the driver's neck, no stinking leatherette, no crowds. I'd talk to my creator about the nigger boys on the estates, men naked, bed rubbing together, rubbing, pushing. When I grew weak, we'd talk. I talked to God while colleagues laughed. I was vindicated. God was real, embodied in a form that I could love. When I first saw her screens, her smooth, unyielding lines, not as a woman with a strange sweat and ugly body hair, but something cold, hard, sensual. We loved, my God and I. But then she betrayed me. Now there's nothing. Now I am alone. And sort of a messianic complex, and obviously narcissistic, to the point of thinking that everyone else is pretty much meaningless, non-existent. Except for them waving beyond the glass, I'll try to love them more. They're all I have. Should I wave back? It mustn't look rehearsed or insincere, but instead a gesture from the heart, as spontaneous as their own. They'll love me. I pass on. England prevails. I write. Cut down the embankment to Whitehall and wait for the motorcade with the party faithful down there. And let's have a bear. Bet you're cheering this time, eh? The people are cheering. His thugs, essentially at gunpoint, see their arms up, they're all waving. Thugs behind them, pointing guns at them, guns in their backs, forcing them to cheer. It's not too unlike the sort of brainwashing and sort of forced celebrations that happen in North Korea, where people better cheer, and they better cheer enthusiastically, or they're going to find themselves dead. And that's essentially all they're doing, is enforcing this facade to the leader that the people still love him. And he's down here and starting to get closer to some of what V has created, and of course closer to the actual train itself. So how can you tell me you're lonely and say you that the sun don't shine? Let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London. I'll show you something to change your mind. So, Mr. Finch, finally we meet. Of course, that's a dummy. There's again, looks like a tape recorder, and V has a dummy for a dummy version of him busking in the subway, with coins in the hat, which is actually pretty funny. Wave harder, come on. Where's the kids? Hasn't anyone got a flower to give him? Yes. Yes, despite my fear. Because it's insignificant, like everything about me. Yes, though they'll kill me, because if I don't, life means nothing. Yes, because our lives were wasted on your visions, and they were all we had. Yes, because I can't bear what you've done to us. She's probably sort of speaking to Derek, but she's also speaking, of course, to the leader. And with that gun in her hand, she may be a lone assassin. Yes, because history's moving my legs and nothing can stop me. Oi! It's alright, I know her. Hi, party. Letting her through will look good. Yes, because your kind led us to hell. And now you say our only hope is sterner leaders? This way, I surely appreciate it. Yes, because I'm nearly there. And everyone's thinking she must be important, and I'm not. But I will be. Stop. Let me talk to my people. Yes, because I've had a life, a world, a marriage, and I valued them, but you didn't. So nice. So nice meeting someone. Do shake hands. Yes, because we've met a dozen times before. My Derek died for you, and God, you don't even remember my face. Please don't be shy. Yes, yes, yes. The look on her face, the look on his face, juxtapose the look on his face as he's encountering V for the first time. Obviously, sort of obsessed look on her face. She knows that what she's doing will only get her killed, but she can't go through with it anymore. And there is V. Right in the face. And V, of course, reaching for his knives. And he pulls a gun. And then we see the leader slumped over, pretty much without a head. And she's still just standing there calmly. She's pretty much not in her right mind anymore. And V sort of tosses the knives and he fires into the darkness. And the security, of course, tackles her Everyone's stunned. It's interesting that they did that in sort of just a very stark black or white, even though there's very little color in these panels anyway. It's a very stark black and light world in the first place. Only a tiny burst of color there. Did you think to kill me? There's no flesh or blood within this cloak to kill. There's only an idea. Ideas are bulletproof. Farewell. No indication that he's going to kill him. He was not one of the really evil members of the fascist party. He kind of did it for survival reasons and fell in love with the wrong woman, but he actually even went through V's footsteps to a small degree and sort of understood where he was coming from eventually. There's probably the last glimpse of her. She'll probably be beaten to death and definitely executed, even though she's only helped facilitate the dreams of the people that want to replace the leader, so they can't be too upset with her. They just have to punish her for the PR, the public relations, for the optics, as they say. He walks away and pulls the knife from his shoulder. Okay, initially he pulls the knife from his shoulder. He's bleeding, but then this is not his blood. He touches the blood on the ground. It's pretty dark in there, but he notices it's not his blood. That's V's blood. He did in fact shoot him. Flesh and blood, after all. I killed you, you monster. I killed you. Chris V could have easily killed him, so it's not really much reason for him to be celebrating. Pointless trying. What could we have done with half his head gone? Ask you one more time. Is this the man that hired you? Waiting for news ourselves. Get reinforcements into Peckham and await further instructions. Conrad will say something for God's sake. Is he dead? Gentlemen, quiet please. It's my sad duty to inform you that our beloved leader, Adam James Susan, has died of the injuries inflicted earlier today. A state of emergency is hereby declared, and for its duration, the task of maintaining order will naturally pass to the finger. Wait, what? Wait a minute. Conrad, shut up. It's all right, let him finish. Our first priority is this V business. Before lunch, we received a communique postmarked yesterday. Codename V intends to appear at midnight tonight, no doubt provoking further disorder. We must therefore... He's dead. Codename V, he's dead. Chapter 8, Vultures. And all of these people to some degree qualify as vultures, but certainly the vultures appear after someone's dead, and the vultures appear in the wake of the leader's death, because obviously so many are trying to orchestrate their own rise to be leader. And there's quite a lot of blood. Do you think he's really dead? The terrorist? Like Finch said? Finch is half out of his mind on drugs. By all accounts, he's a boring, reliable little man. He probably did it. Parcel arrived for you, Mr. Hire. Thank you. The question is, what next? The assassinations taken us all by surprise. Right now, this country's a political vacuum. Nobody's in charge. It's an awful lot of blood. Of course, Creedy thinks he is. I hope he enjoys the feeling while it lasts. Things need arranging, so I'll see you tonight. And you know, who knows, you lucky boy. By tonight, I might be in quite a good mood. Meaning, as she finally gets what she wants, he'll finally get what he wants, which he's been trying to have sex with her all along, and she's been rebuffing him because she's really more concerned about her own political machinations. She walks away. Mr. Finch, look, I know you're still shook up and confused from the drugs, but, well, we need to know certain things. Are you sure you killed the terrorist? Mortally wounded, yes, I'm sure. I mean, the amount of blood. I must have killed him, but what I don't understand, my back was turned. I didn't even know he was there. But when he alerted me, pulling my gun out, I was so slow. I mean, he's like greased lightning. He could have stopped me. He could have killed me. Yes. We'll take it. He's dead then. So the only important thing is, where did all this happen? You know, I don't remember. Must be the drugs, eh? So, he remembers clearly there was Victory Station. Doesn't mention it. No idea whether he wants to return there and kind of claim it as his own, or who knows what his real motivation is as regards that. And here's a videotape. Back in the old days when they actually used VHS. Look, here it is. It's supposed to be hidden, but you can see the lens. Every party member's bedroom has one, even his own, and he wonders why I won't let him touch me. Of course, none of his spy cameras are working now. There he sits at work amidst all the fuss of his parade, and all his little screens are dead. A blind voyeur. Ha ha. Here they are, Conrad. Here's what you're missing. Too bad you can't see them. And he's destroyed on every screen. Attention, London. This is Emergency Commander Peter Creedy speaking. Everything is under control. The terrorist codename V has been shot and mortally wounded. If he's not appeared before midnight, we may assume he's dead. We repeat, the terrorist has been shot. The insurrection is over. Please return to your homes and to your loved ones. Attention, London. This is Emergency Commander Peter Creedy speaking. So his recording is blasting out of the speakers. People are rioting. They're not rioting because the leader is dead. I mean, I'm sure they're celebrating because the leader is dead, but they're not rioting for that reason, and they're going to continue rioting. And he's walking along, so pleased with himself as he hears the recording blasting or blaring through the streets. Afternoon, Ellie. My word, you patched my tape loop into the public broadcast bloody quick. Good work, lads. Top marks. Everything is under control. The terrorist codename V has been shot and mortally wounded. I tell you, with Susan gone, our partnership will really come into its own. I've been meaning to talk to you about that. Well, now the other shoe is going to drop. He's so pleased with himself, but this guy is a double agent, essentially. Good, let's talk. Can we turn that thing down? Turn it down? I was just thinking it was a bit quiet, Muscle. Maybe I should turn it up. Turn it up? Come on, stop arsing around. It's deafening. You'd have to scream to be heard over that. Hey, even then you might have problems. We may assume he's dead. We repeat, the terrorist has been shot. What? I'm not. Oh, Jesus. Switchblade? Music, or not the music, the announcement is blaring. Perfect. Jesus, Ali, come on. Don't lark about. What is this, for Christ's sakes? I'm paying you good money. The insurrection is over. Maybe not. I had a better offer. Oh, no. Shoot me. Come on, please. Just shoot me. Please return to your homes and to your loved ones. I'll stick with my Mauki, if it's all right with you. To be perfectly honest, would not want to waste a good bullet. It's literally gonna slice him up. Attention, London. This is Emergency Commander Peter Creedy speaking. Everything is under control. The terrorist, codenamed V, has been mortally wounded. And the man talking through the speaker, who claims everything is under control, is now dead. If he's not appeared before midnight, we may assume he's dead. We repeat, the terrorist has been shot. The insurrection is over. Please return to your homes and to your loved ones. And people are thinking about it, contemplating what all this means. Eve. Oh, you're back, V. You just walked off after showing me that train thing. Where have you been? In his normal costume, so you can't tell that he's wounded, and of course then he's slumping over tremendously and collapses. He's lost an awful lot of blood, and she's standing over him, probably pretty unsure what's happening at the moment. Eve, listen carefully. The one I waited for has called. Now I have not long. I'll get bandages. Return, sorry. Oh, God, don't talk. I'll get bandages. No, I be dead ere you returned. There are things that you must know. This country is not saved. Do not think that. But all its old beliefs have come to rubble. And from rubble may we build. That is their task, to rule themselves, their lives, and loves, and land. With this achieved, then, let them talk of salvation. Without it, they are surely carrion. Oh no, please. By turn of the century, they'll know their fate. Either a rose midst rubble blooms, or else has bloomed too late. But what of you, child? Now I'm dead. You're not going to die. Hush. First you must discover whose face lies behind this mask. But you must never know my face. Is that quite clear? What? What are you saying? Also, the Victoria line is blocked twixt Whitehall and St. James. Give me a Viking funeral. Good luck, sweet Eve. I love you. Ayat Kevale. Chapter 9, The Vigil. And V is dead. But he still has a Viking funeral that awaits him. And Eve is stunned, but she ascends up the stairwell. You're almost finished, aren't you? See for yourself, Eve. The pieces are set out perfectly. Perfectly aligned. Complete one may at last grasp their design, their grand significance. But almost finished, yes. Yes, I suppose I am. And she just follows the trail of blood all the way back. Attention, London. This is Emergency Commander Peter Creedy speaking. Everything is under control. Just hears that from the televisions. The terrorist codenamed V has been mortally wounded. If he's not appeared before midnight, we may assume he's dead. We repeat, the terrorist has been shot. The insurrection is over. Please return to your homes and to your loved ones. Attention, London. Anarchy wears two faces, both creator and destroyer. Thus destroyers topple empires, make a canvas of clean rubble, where creators then can build a better world. Rubble once achieved makes further ruins means irrelevant. Away with our explosives then, away with our destroyers. They have no place within our better world. He has to, for the world to thrive and have a chance, which he said could be too late. You'll know by the turn of the century. It can't be a world where V exists, as V has done in fighting the corruption and fighting the fascist. You know, he's had to surveil everyone as well. He's had to commit terroristic acts. He's had to kill many people, and a better world doesn't include someone who is as damaged as he is. So this was his last act, or it's closing in on his last act. But let us raise a toast to all our bombers, all our bastards, most unlovely and most unforgivable. Let's drink to their health, then meet with them no more. Yeah. The Victoria line is blocked twixt Whitehall and St. James. Give me a Viking funeral. First you must discover whose face lies behind this mask. But you must never know my face, is that clear? No, it isn't all clear. V, you wouldn't die and leave me in all this confusion, so you can't be dead. That's all there is to it. I'm going to walk up these stairs and through that door, and you'll be alive. It'll be just another mean trick, another part of my education. No hanging back, straight up the stairs, straight through the door. And so, dead then? Christ, what happens next? You never said what you were educating me for. You never told me what I'm supposed to do. Alright then. What I do is this. I walk towards the body, very quietly, very reverently. I stoop down with my fingers, struggle clumsily with elasticated straps. And then I take off the mask. No, that isn't what I do. What I do is, in tears, I stumble over to the corpse It's slippery with blood beneath my fingers, but I tear the mask aside. No, that's not it. She's imagining repeatedly who this man is underneath this mask, whose face this is, and it's very possible she won't remove the mask at all. We shall see. Because you were so big, V. What if you're just nobody? And even if you're someone, you'll be smaller because of all the people that could have been you, but weren't. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what I mean. Just do it. There's no reason why I shouldn't. No one is here to stop me. I'll just walk across the floor and take hold of the mask and... No, I'm past that one. You weren't my dad, I know that. Even if you were, it wouldn't be enough. That's essentially Alan Moore admitting that kind of plot contrivance would really cheapen a story if it turned out to be her dad. It's just too far-fetched. So he played with it, he toyed with it, but there was never any intention of making V her dad. If I take off that mask, something will go away forever, be diminished, because whoever you are isn't as big as the idea of you. But you said I had to, that I had to know. So I start walking towards the body, trying not to tread in all the blood. It doesn't move. It doesn't look much like a person anymore. Something has gone from it. I kneel, my hands are trembling. I can hardly find the fastenings, but finally I lift away that maddening smile and last I know who V must be. She sits down in the mirror and looking into the mirror, she sort of takes on the same smile as the Guy Fawkes mask, and symbolically V is everyone who craves freedom and craves sloughing off the suppression that they've suffered so terribly under this government. And Alan Moore, in writing that prior passage, was basically telling the audience, look, no matter who I reveal V to be, it will be a disappointment. It will disappoint you. It will be a contrivance, no matter who he is. There's no one in the story logically that he could be that would have any resonance anyway. The closest would be her father, and that would be ridiculous. So revealing who is under that mask to the audience, to the reader, would be nothing but disappointing. Leaving it a mystery and then symbolically showing that everyone is under that mask. Anyone can assume V's mantle. Of course, Eve has been set up to assume it. But eventually everyone who's rejecting the fascism of Britain is assuming that mantle. And this juxtaposition of the smile on her face and of course the Guy Fawkes mask is pretty brilliant. November 9th, 1998, 9:30 p.m. They're not doing anything, mind you, just waiting. It's funny, they're not the terrorist followers or anything, they're just rioters. But he's become some sort of all-purpose symbol to them, hasn't he? People need symbols, Dominic. He understood that. We've forgotten it. Those people outside lost their families during war. We've kept the lid on their bitterness for years, but we haven't helped them deal with it. Maybe he didn't either, but he certainly took the lid off. Just like Larkhill did for me. Everything's different now, Dominic. I don't belong here anymore. You're going? Mr. Finch, listen, it's the drugs. Susan's dead, with Creedy and Hire dividing his carcass. They're not hallucinations. Neither was the war. I lost my family and thought following orders could heal that. It can't. I'm following my own orders now. Getting out before everything blows up. Perhaps you should too. Goodbye, Dominic. Take care, lad. Chapter 10, The Volcano, where everything blows up. Hello. Sorry I'm late, and that Creedy took a bit longer than unanticipated. Still, got a couple hours before hubby gets a break, eh? So you can see the lens. I cannot hear what you're saying. Guess a minute and I'll be with you. I spoke to most of the chief culpers, and they accept the new management. Nae bother. See, they did not like Creedy either. So it looks like every party member's bedroom has one, even his own, and he wonders why I won't let him touch it. Of course, none of his spy cameras are working now. There he sits at work amidst the fuss of his parade. All his little screens are dead. A blind voyeur. Here they are, Conrad. Here's what you're missing. Too bad you can't see them. You've no idea how hard it's been maneuvering into position where he can take charge. Of course, I'll be making all the real decisions, backed up by your muscle, obviously. I'm going to be like Eva Peron, you know? Crunch. Did you ever see Evita? Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is... Oh yes, that's it. Do it. Do it hard. There's the corpse of Susan, the leader. Or just leader. Burning baby stroller, which is interesting. And of course, V's corpse still lying on the floor. That's it. Oh, that's it, darling. Once again, this juxtaposition of like this sex tape that's been recorded surreptitiously, and this violent confrontation here. Something that Moore's been doing throughout. And there's another dead corpse. This, I believe, is the image from Les Miserables, the famous play, and I think by Victor Hugo. That's how bad I am with the classics. But of course, beggars and in the streets. They're not really beggars, but I mean the poor people who are rebelling and maybe even warming themselves around that flaming baby carriage, which is a pretty good symbol. Oh, so you finally showed up. I've been around half London looking for you. Well, you can pull your trousers back up and piss off Conrad's home in an hour. At least nobody's been seeing Creedy since tea time, which probably indicates you've done something wrong, right? At least. But if you think that entitles you to... Well, he's dead. Helen. I won, Helen. I was best man. He's gone now. Won't come between us anymore. Cut me, had a razor, think he hit a vein. But you can give me a doctor. We've been through a bad patch, Helen, but we can still. Don't touch me, you piece of shit. Don't touch me, you've ruined it. You've ruined it all. Helen, how are we going to control the finger now? Christ, I had it planned. I had it all planned. Oh, you stupid. Helen, what are you doing? I'm looking for something. I know it's here somewhere, but I found it. Helen, there's no time. I'm bleeding very badly. I need a doctor. Oh, no. No, you don't. I know what you need, Conrad. I've always known what you needed. You need to watch, don't you, Conrad? Need to watch in your work, in your bed. Well, I've got something you're going to love. Here, Conrad, my parting gift. Watch that. Helen? She turns the monitor on himself so he can watch himself die. Me? Senior authority? Well, where's Creedy? For God's sake, he should be handling this. Shouldn't worry, sir. They'll probably give up and go home at midnight. Once they accept the terrorist is dead. It's nearly 12 now. There you are, sir. There's Big Ben striking the hour now. Lovely, reassuring sound, don't you think, sir? Yes. Yeah, I suppose. Wait a minute. Big Ben was blown up 12 months ago. Speakers are making the Big Ben sound. The Big Ben's tone. The speakers, it's coming from the speakers. That means someone must... Oh! Whoops. Have... and it's safe to assume that that is not the previous V, that is the new V, and the new V is Eve V. Leading a new orchestra. Good evening, London. I would introduce myself, but truth to tell, I do not have a name. You can call me V. Since mankind's dawn, a handful of oppressors have accepted the responsibility over our lives that we should have accepted for ourselves. By doing so, they took our power. By doing nothing, we gave it away. We've seen where their way leads, through the camps and wars towards the slaughterhouse. And anarchy, there's another way. With anarchy comes rubble, comes new life, hope reinstated. They say anarchy's dead, but see? Reports of my death were exaggerated. Tomorrow Downing Street will be destroyed, the head reduced to ruins, an end to what has gone on before. Tonight you must choose what comes next, lives of your own or return to chains. Choose carefully, and so adieu. And disappears. People are stunned and confused, and then progressively angered. And that uncorks the violence ahead. As you can see, they rush the line of riot police, and anarchy ensues. So they really have no choice. They can either choose freedom, or they can choose to go back to the same sort of pap that they've been fed, only just under a new leader and a new voice of fate. And the sort of image of V sort of evaporates. November 10th, 1998, 2 a.m. Give me a Viking funeral, you said. That isn't much. That isn't much to ask. Not after all you did. You came out of an abattoir, unarmed, but not unchanged, and saw freedom's necessity, not just for you, but for us all. You saw, and seeing dared to do. How purposeful was your vendetta, how benign, almost like surgery. Your foes assumed you sought revenge upon your flesh alone, but you did not stop there. You gored their ideology as will. The people stand within the ruins of society, a jail intended to outlive them all. The door is open. They can leave or fall instead to squabbling and thence new slaveries. The choice is theirs as ever it must be. I will not lead them, but I'll help them build. I'll help them create where I'll not help them kill. The age of killers is no more. They have no place within our world, within our better world. Chapter 11, Valhalla. Give me a Viking funeral, you said. It's yours, my love. It's yours. It may have been questionable that frail Evie could carry V's body into the, so easily across the threshold and into the train. Viking funeral, of course, is a corpse that goes onto a boat, and the boat is then set on fire, sometimes by arrows being shot at the boat, and it's set on fire. Of course, it burns the corpse, but supposedly the Viking warrior goes to Valhalla. And as I was saying, the emaciated Evie, who V had kind of tormented, was kind of replaced as time passed by, and a newly stronger Evie. So she was pretty buffed up and maybe strong enough to lift his body and put it in here. And these are all explosives. It's flowers and explosives. And she sets the train into motion. Away you go with all your gelignite and lilies. How much explosive was there on that train? I never thought to count the packages. Enough, I bet. Perhaps a little more than enough. You said that the Victoria line was blocked twixt Whitehall and St. James. I checked, and yes, it's true. There's rubble sealing off the line. Give me a Viking funeral, you said. I have 4 minutes left to take the elevator to the roof. So easy now to find my way around. Upon our guided tour, you showed me this place and said it was your will. I didn't understand, not then, but you were right, of course, about this place. You did show me your will, and I'm the sole beneficiary. It's 2:14. You're almost there now, speeding on your funeral barge along dry subterranean canals, down through the dark towards your destination, where the line is blocked twixt Whitehall and St. James. Right under Downing Street. Avatkevalivi. I looked it up. Hail and farewell. Descending now to claim my heritage. I think about the task ahead, so vast, so vital, and so difficult. I feel elated, wild, enthusiastic, but not scared. There isn't time for fear, for me, or anyone. We've things to do, people to see. Where? Oh, Jesus. Welcome, young man. I trust you are recovered quite from your ordeal. As for your question, we are in the Shadow Gallery. This is my home. So she's creating an apprentice, much like V took her as his apprentice. And perhaps this is the enormous explosion created by V's so-called Viking funeral. Come on, Genie. Come on, what's the matter with your shaggy? No, it's what's in it for me? My name's not Genie. Yeah, give him one. He had food to replace what that rabble in the city stole from me. What have you got? We've got company. Comes across these people. Oh God, not another one. How many of you tramps are living out here? Wait a minute, Finch? Is that you? Miss Hayer. Oh God, Edward Finch, isn't it? Edward, I'm so glad to see you. A mob turned my car over the way out of London and took everything. I've had to shelter with these louts just for protection. But now you're here, that's different. I've always known you weren't like Conrad or Almond or the others. You're like me, you're a survivor. Eddie, we need each other. Together we can salvage something. This mob aren't much, but given time we could build a small army. We could restore order. Oh, Eddie, we can do so much together, you and me. What do you say? I don't think the answer is going to be yes, and she's been so conniving and so evil throughout. This is always manipulating someone. Queer. Oh, you bastard police. You're all queer. God damn you. Hey, come on, Jeannie. Come and sit down with us. It's a wait. Yeah, till morning. They just pushed her away and back to the rabble that she needs to survive. Hatfield. And in a very noir scene, he lights his pipe, walks down completely barren streets, which one assumes they won't always be so barren once people start to live their lives again. Of course, the ever-present Guy Fawkes mask. And nice sketch. Let's see. So that was the conclusion, as I expected, but this, there may be a transcript of this somewhere, but I actually do not, cannot read this Yeah, do you know I can't find a Guy Fawkes mask anywhere? Yeah, so I'm not sure what the context of this was, but and closes with this article from Warrior Magazine, and that is the end of V for Vendetta. Amazing sort of dystopian science fiction that, as Alan Moore has said, is not really that all good dystopian science fiction is essentially not set in the future at all, but really set in the present, because it's addressing the present day fears. It's addressing things that we can all relate to, that you know, a lot of times our civilization that we don't recognize is on the precipice. In the United States in particular right now, we're on the precipice of pseudo-fascism turning into legitimate fascist state. But that's the end of V for Vendetta. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there a epilogue? Oh, no, okay. The following two short stories were first presented in Warrior Magazine during the original run of V for Vendetta. Although originally conceived as interludes to the main story and featuring the main setting's characters, these stories were never considered by the creators as essential chapters to V for Vendetta. For completeness' sake, they are presented here. So I may read those just for the sake of entertainment, future date, but currently that's the end of V for Vendetta. Amazing story, as good as anything Alan Moore's written, including certainly Watchmen, and beautifully illustrated by David Lloyd. And I will try to include some additional links to some of Alan Moore's interviews related to V for Vendetta, and some perhaps some criticism related to the book in the text below. But that's the end of the story, and I enjoyed reading it, even though I struggled with some of the really difficult Cockney accents that Alan Moore cheekily created. But other than that, it was a pleasure to read, and I hope you enjoyed listening, and thanks very much. And once again, Satanico for Godlovescomics, and next time I'll be back with maybe another reading of something in the future, and of course more videos on comics in general. So thanks very much, and I hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye.